Hello there, World of Tankers. Welcome to the channel. Hopefully all of you are doing well out there. I'm, of course, your host, Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be doing, once again, a map tutorial. Now, I have not done one of these in over a year, which is a very long time, of course. And we're going to be going back into this because I made a poll yesterday night where I asked you guys, would you rather see versus videos like IS-5 versus T2020, VK168 versus VK100, and it turns out that all of you voted, about 53% of you, out of the 9,500, and thank you all for voting on the poll, decided to vote for map tutorials. So in today's video, that's exactly what we're going to be doing, running the T57 Heavy. Now, every map tutorial video is, of course, different because I'm going to be breaking down a different map with a different type of vehicle. Now, the way I also like to do this is after I play the specific tank. Of course, the 57 Heavy has a very unique playstyle. So if, let's say, I get Middleburg and I go up the hill, well, of course, I'm not going to run it like I would run a 5A and then like I would run an E100. So what I'm going to do is after I play the game on that specific map, I'm going to pull up Strat Sketch and show you a bunch of different positions and scenarios you can run your tanks to counter really solid positions. So, of course, if you enjoyed today's video, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below, especially if you want to vote and decide what videos you want to see next on the channel. Please consider smashing that subscribe button as well and hitting that bell notification icon so you get notified when I do post my polls. So, hopefully, we're going to get a map that I haven't already covered. One of the issues I've started to think about when I am doing live map commentary videos, at least for the first half, is that, well, I can't really do live commentary once I've covered half the maps in the game, because that means half the times I'm trying to record, I'm going to get stuck on a map I've already done a video on, and then I've just got to redo it and hope not to get a map I've already done a video on. So I'm going to start to do recorded games, or maybe if I play a game on that map, I'll instantly record a video so I can tell you what went through my mind and everything else like that. But this is Canyon, a very, very tricky map. And have I done Canyon before? Let me just take a look. Vineyards, Normandy, Alpenstadt. No, we have not done Canyon. And as I said, the 57 Heavy, being a very odd tank, isn't necessarily a good map for this vehicle. The thing about the 57 Heavy is that it doesn't have great turret armor. It's in fact very weak. It can be troll, it can get a lot of bounces, but it's not reliable. I wouldn't put this thing in front of a tier 9 medium, let alone tier 10 vehicles like the Kranvagn, the Progetto 65. So you'll notice that I'm pushing my heavy tank over towards town. And the reason I'm pushing over towards town is because this gives me not only a lot of cover, but if the enemy tanks push towards mid, or my M48 Patton is pushing, I can get covering fire off to the side. The 57 Heavy boasts a weirdly accurate gun. It's accurate for a heavy, but then at the same time, it misses really easy shots. So we're going to see what we can do. Now, of course, the Kranvagn is most likely going to be pushing into mid. That's just basic reading a lineup. You know the Kron's got gun depression, so of course it should push into a spot to work its strengths. So we've also got the 57 Heavy off to this side, who we can't tap as of yet. And with me having teammates here, like the Object 268, that is very, very strong. Now, we got the Kranvagn off to the side as well. There's one nice shot into the rear of the Kron's turret. There's two nice shots. We're going to instantly start reloading our clip, and that is over 800 damage already added to our pallet. That is what I love about the 57 Heavy. However, you'll notice our bat chat's dead, which isn't great. I don't know how the bat chat died, but that's our spotting, which isn't what you necessarily want. Now, the 57 Heavy has not been detected, which is weird. Oh, there he is. Very, very aggressive position, actually, for the 57. And as you can see, and as I said, the 57 really has no turret armor, which is something that you have to be very, very cautious of. Now, we're going to instantly start reloading my clip. I can't really do much to support my team, especially if I don't have a clip. So hopefully this Emil, which looks to be super, super stock with that engine speed. Hopefully my Emil is able to finish off the 57 Heavy as I'm reloading my clip currently. Hopefully able to get out some big shells on the enemy vehicles like the FE-Tune 5B183. Aiming, there's one nice tap into the 183. Not sure if we're going to be able to get any others out, but there is the Vickers CR, another nice tap. And I guess I'm going to have to miss the 57 Heavy. Nice shot from the Emil. At least he finished him off. So now that we have gotten quite a good superiority over here, the 268 has not been taken out yet, which is exactly what I want. Of course, if I'm down a teammate, not necessarily the best. But with the Patton still alive, he's hanging on, not super healthy, but, you know, he's still alive. I should be able to push quite aggressive over here and try and take out enemy vehicles. Oh, a ricochet on the upper plate of a 183. Unlucky, dude. Okay, well, let's try this again. We've got the 183 right there. We got the Vickers CR right here. So there's one nice shot into you, and I've got to be very careful, of course, because the 183s is a tank that will rip me to shreds, or my 268, either works. But we're going to finish off the 183 and back into cover. Now, you can see again that my team is falling apart extremely quickly. Not what you want. It's actually the opposite of what I want. And the issue with that is I've done everything I can. I've pushed my tank into the correct positions, but sometimes you just get teams like this where they can't hold and they fall apart way, way too quickly. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to aim at the trap wheel of the FE-Toon-5e. If I can do that, he's not able to repair his track, and we're going to get one more snap into him, finishing off what was a very, very healthy tank backing into cover. The 57 Heavy has a big reverse weakness, where it can't reverse very quickly, of course, and when you've got that big of an issue, you've got to be very controlling on where you push your tank. Now, we've got the Centurion 7-1 right in front here, and that's, of course, a tank I need to take out, but as well, we've got, like, the Progetto off to the side, so not a great game for our team. And while I did do the best I could, you can see that not every game you play comes out in a stellar victory. That was a mean clip pulled out on the scent, and hopefully he bounces me again. Come on, bounce it. Yes, nice bounce there. Pull back. I don't want to get hit by Progetto. No. Oh, wiggle that turret like your life depends on it. Come on. This turret is very troll, as I did say. You can see here I'm getting very, very lucky bounces, which means that we should be able to not only snap a nice shell into you, but as well, not only get one shell into the Kronwagen, but hopefully, oh, we're reloading our clip. Were we out of ammo? Because I swear we had 2 shells left in our clip at that moment. That actually is a big bummer, but nonetheless, we did the best we could. And unfortunately, while my team fell apart very, very quickly, you can't always win every single game. As I said, I pushed my 57 where the strongest scenario would be, and I'm pretty sure that we did an extremely large amount of damage. In fact, 5,990 damage. The only thing I do want to see really quickly is, did I run out of ammo at the end? Maybe I ran out of standard ammo. Was I swear, there was something wrong with that clip, because I should have had 3 shells. Yeah, I actually ran out of AP shells. That is a big shame, because we could have been able to get over 6,000 damage that battle. But as you can see, unfortunately, my team didn't do great. My Chieftain Mark 6 got instantly annihilated, same for the Bat Chat, and when you have teammates that fall apart that quickly, even though you do 6,000 damage, you can't win every game, but the positioning was great. And, well, I'm going to pull out now into Strat Sketch, where I can show you a whole broad sense of view where to push your tank. But as you saw in that specific game, I pushed my 57 where it was strong. I don't have the most turret armor, and I don't have much hull armor, so I'm going to push my tank where I can work the buildings. I can pop out, use my clip back in the cover. That is something you want to do, especially in your clippers. So that's how to run clippers, but I'm going to pull up Strat Sketch. Now, after playing 56,000 games in Blitz, I am pretty experienced on a lot of maps, and Canyon is one of my least favorite. The issue with it is that, yes, if you're running a hull-down vehicle, let's say like an STB-1, a T-110E5, you can work excellent on the ridgeline positions, and it makes you just so happy when you did decide to run the Chieftain Mark 6, the WZ-111-5A on the hill, because you're able to work that gun depression and shoot vehicles off on the side over here. If anybody's trying to work this position, it's very strong. The issue is, as you saw, I was running my T-57 Heavy. And because the 57 Heavy, while it does have decent gun depression, the issue is that it doesn't have enough gun depression to work that ridgeline, and it doesn't have any turret armor. So instead, I pushed my T-57 Heavy off to the side where I could use the buildings, the corridors, to snap shells into enemy opponents. And of course, if you're using this line of sight correctly, you can shoot people on the hill from the area I shot that Kron right at the beginning. But it's very, very tricky on this map because there's so many different scenarios that you want to push your vehicles. Now, for me personally, I actually never ever push off to this part of the map. Now, this is just personal experience for me. I feel like there's too many areas where vehicles, again, in the middle can shoot you, where if you push off to the town, we'll make it blue, if you push off to the town over here, you can see you've got so much more cover from not only the mountains, but as well the buildings. There's a lot of easy areas to get shots into the enemy opponents. As well, I find it way easier to get into the enemy spawn from the rails than it is to come all the way across here and make your way over. You can see it's just seeming like a much larger distance when it really isn't. It's a very similar distance, but it's easier to traverse your way through the buildings because there's less covering fire. So for me personally, it's a way easier area to make your way through the buildings if you're in a vehicle, let's say like an E100, that can't afford to work in big open towns. If you're running a medium tank, let's say like the T62A, the STB, I would highly suggest to push your way up on the hill. In fact, we can say that, let's just say the mediums up on the middle are the STB and the 62A. You can also push vehicles like the WZ-111-5A, the Kronwagen, the Chieftain Mark 6, T-110 T-25, any of those vehicles that have good gun depression up on the middle hill. This is definitely the most important part of the map, is center hill. The second most important thing is tank destroyers, because of course those are very important vehicles that you need to support your team. Now, if you're spawning on the red side over here, the best spots I would say for a tank destroyer, if you're first of all wanting to protect the middle hill that you can see circled, I actually run my tank destroyer at this spot right here. There's a little bush that's kind of positioned like this, so you can actually use that bush and you won't get detected if you position correctly, and you can shoot people if they decide to poke this hill right here. It's a really, really solid spot. The other position I would suggest to maybe run a tank destroyer is you could run it in the back of the map like over here. I don't personally do that. The other spots is I'll actually sometimes push my tank destroyers back here. This is a really good position again because you can get shots across into the hill. The most important spot on the map. If you can control that, it's a very, very easy victory. And if worse comes to worse and they don't push that hill or you don't have shots, so you can make your way over here. You'll get easier shots across if they don't push that way as well. If they do end up pushing off to the other side or over towards town here, you can get easy shots. It's really nice. There's a couple spots, and of course you can do that very similarly on the other side of the map as well. This is one of the lesser parallel maps, I can definitely say though. Now, if I'm on the green side, I would position my tank destroyer right on this rock here. And what this does is very similar strategies to the position over here. What you're able to do is position your tank and get nice shots once again onto the hill. In fact, I definitely like green spawns way more if you're running a tank destroyer because it's just so much easier to shoot people across. You've got the bush covering you. You can also push up a little bit further if you're a little risky. I think the bush is right around here. I think it's actually there. You can push yourself to that bush right there at that rock and side scrape if you're in a tank destroyer, get some nice shots off, but it's very, very nice to be able to shoot people across. Again, I don't really find any spectacular spots actually for the other spawn over here with tank destroyers just because it's very weak, but that's of course why I think green spawn is better, because this in particular spot here not only gives you shots over across the hill, but as well, if the enemy team again tries pushing into town where I've got highlighted, you can easily just push your tank over here and work this bush, or you can sit in this spot exactly and literally shoot straight into town. So it's not too bad at all when you're pushing into that spot with the tank destroyer. You can easily cover your team in a lot of positions. Now, of course, a light tank on this map, there's really not much you want to do other than push up mid. There's no real tier 10 light tanks. I can say the Batchat is very weak. The Batchat is a spectacular tank at clipping, but the Batchat is a vehicle where I'd probably push into town. I'd try and flank, catch your tank destroyers out in the open, but a vehicle like the Vickers Light, or we can say the Sheridan, I'd poke right up at the middle hill. First of all, I might try and get a snapshot out at somebody who's trying to make their way over here. You can easily spot the enemy team if they're trying to push off into the town. It's really easy to get spots if you're in a light tank. Not only that, but as well, you can easily get a nice little pot shot off, and then you can start flanking around. It's very tricky to run light tanks on this map because it's a smaller, more confined map, but as well, you can easily flank. You can change positions very quickly. It's not too bad of a map. Now, if I clear really quick, let me clear everything here, I can say a couple positions I would not suggest to go to. So as I said, this part of the map for me personally isn't the best spot. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. For me personally, it's just so easy for a vehicle to sit right here, work with the gun depression. You know, if worse comes to worse, and let's say you're sitting on this side of the hill in your heavy tank, well, what you do is if you see the enemy team, and you see most of their tanks are pushing over here, all you literally do is drive your tank to this side of the hill, and then you work gun depression, or you drive over and you sit here, and you can work gun depression. It's very easy. The only issue to that, and something that I always worry about, is if there's an enemy tank sitting off into the side over here. Let's say there's a tank destroyer off over here or here. It's very nasty sometimes if enemy tank destroyers are trying to shoot you when you push off to the side. So you want to make sure that their whole team is pushing off there, but if they do, it's just so easy to get shots into their team, especially, as I said, if you're pushing over to this town, you've got way more cover than you do over on this side. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. This is, of course, my personal opinions and experience I've had in comp, and not only comp, but as well public games in Canyon. Very, very tricky map, but if you know how to play it correctly and you know where to position your heavies, it can be a very solid map. Now, one thing I kind of left out is, while I did say run your hull down heavies down towards middle over here, I would definitely suggest for your bigger heavies, vehicles like the Mouse, vehicles like E100, or we could even say the IS-4, I'd suggest to run them more in the town. You can push them up top here, and the reason for that being is because, of course, they don't have a lot of gun depression, and as well, they're very weak when they're out in the open. So if you push off to the side, it shouldn't be too bad at all. You're able to work again, side scrape. You could even get some nice shots across the map once again into mid. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Of course, if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more like it, please consider smashing that subscribe button down below. Let me know if these help you out in the comments, but other than that, hopefully all of you are doing well out there.